If I told you that you could outsmart almost anyone without saying a single word, would you believe me? Because today, we're diving into one of the most powerful psychological weapons ever discussed, rooted in the philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche. And the crazy part? You don't need fancy vocabulary. You don't need long speeches. And you don't need to argue with anyone. You just need to understand the silent tactics that philosophers, leaders, strategists, and high-level thinkers have used for centuries. Stay with me, because these insights can genuinely change how people see you, how they respond to you, and how much influence you hold without opening your mouth. Welcome back to the channel. If you're someone who loves psychology, self-mastery, philosophy, and understanding how people really work beneath the surface, then you're in the right place. Today, we're exploring how to outthink, outmaneuver, and outperform people using principles inspired by Nietzsche's philosophy, all silently, all internally, all through presence, observation, and power. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss content that upgrades your mind, your confidence, and your ability to handle any situation like a strategist. Now, let's get into the secret behind this idea. Nietzsche believed that true power doesn't need to announce itself. Weakness shouts. Strength whispers. Or better yet, strength doesn't need to say anything at all. That's why some people walk into a room and instantly command respect, not because of what they say, but because of how they exist. To outsmart people without saying a word, the first thing Nietzsche would push you toward is mastering your inner state. People react to what you project. If you walk into a situation stressed, desperate, or uncertain, you've already surrendered power without speaking. But if you enter with calmness, self-control, and complete inner confidence, people subconsciously read that. Humans can sense certainty the way animals sense fear. Nietzsche called this type of self-control a higher form of strength, the strength of someone who does not need validation, applause, or reassurance. And when you no longer crave approval, no one can manipulate you. The second silent tactic is observation. Most people listen to reply. Nietzsche encouraged listening to understand. Quiet people aren't always shy. They're gathering data. They're noticing patterns. They're studying what other people miss. When you observe deeply, people reveal far more than they intend. Their insecurities, their priorities, their weaknesses, their motivations, all of it becomes clear to someone who watches with attention. The less you speak, the more people expose themselves. The more they speak, the more predictable they become. And once someone is predictable, they are easy to outmaneuver. Another Nietzsche-inspired tactic is to never react immediately. He believed that impulsive reactions were a sign of inner chaos, and silence was a sign of inner power. When someone tries to provoke you, and you stay completely still, that silence becomes uncomfortable for them. They start questioning themselves. They start losing their emotional balance. Your restraint shifts the power dynamic instantly. You don't outsmart them with words, you outsmart them by refusing to be pulled into their emotional arena. Those who can't control you can't outthink you. Nietzsche also talked about the power of becoming unreadable. He warned against being too easy to understand, because transparency makes you predictable. And predictability is weakness. People who know exactly how you think can control you. So if you want to outsmart someone silently, cultivate mystery. This doesn't mean acting strange or being distant. It simply means not revealing your intentions too quickly. Don't explain your plans. Don't broadcast your goals. Don't justify your feelings. Let people guess. When they don't know what you're thinking, they can't prepare for your next move. This leads to another powerful silent tactic: presence. Nietzsche believed that your presence, not your words, communicates your character. The way you sit, stand, walk, breathe, and look at people tells them whether you see yourself as powerful or powerless. Even silence can be a statement. It can communicate confidence, dominance, or deep awareness. When you sit calmly while others panic, you become the person everyone looks to. When you stay composed in chaos, you become the anchor. People naturally gravitate towards someone with a controlled presence. And that form of silent influence is far more powerful than clever words or arguments. Nietzsche also believed that one of the most effective ways to outsmart people is to understand them better than they understand themselves. This doesn't require speaking. It requires studying human nature. Most people assume others think like they do. Nietzsche understood that people are driven by hidden desires, pride, ego, fear, status, insecurity, guilt, loyalty, longing. When you can identify the emotion behind someone's behavior, you can predict their next move. Not with tricks or manipulation, but through deep perception. And perception is silent power. Another strategy Nietzsche would tell you is this: always give people space to underestimate you. When you stay quiet, people often assume you're not paying attention or you're not thinking deeply. And that miscalculation becomes your advantage. Let them relax. Let them reveal things. Let them believe they have the upper hand. A person who underestimates you is a person who won't guard themselves. You defeat them before you even act, simply because they misjudge your awareness. Silence also protects you from giving away emotional leverage. When you remain quiet during conflict or negotiation, the other person becomes uncomfortable and fills the silence with their own nervous talking. And in that talking, they reveal their fears, their urgency, their weaknesses. Nietzsche believed that silence can be offensive in the best way: it forces others to face themselves. That's why the person who speaks less often controls the conversation. Another Nietzsche idea that helps you outsmart people is embracing self-sufficiency. He believed that the strongest individuals are the ones who don't rely on external approval. When you validate yourself, when you trust your decisions, when you don't need applause, people lose the ability to manipulate you through guilt, pressure, or flattery. And once you become mentally independent, your silence becomes even more powerful because nothing rattles you. But perhaps the most important Nietzsche principle is this: never reveal your ultimate aim. He believed that the greatest minds always conceal their highest ambitions. If people know your destination, they can block your path. If they don't, they can't interfere. Speak only when necessary. Express only what is strategic. Share only what serves your purpose, not your ego. The rest should stay protected inside your mind. So how do you apply all of this today? It's simple. Enter situations calm. Watch more than you speak. React slowly. Let silence work for you. Stay unpredictable. Know people better than they know themselves. Let them underestimate you. Protect your intentions. And carry yourself like someone who doesn't need to prove anything. This is how you outsmart people without saying a word. You shift the battlefield from noise to awareness. You upgrade from reacting to observing. You move from chasing validation to generating power from within. Nietzsche wasn't teaching arrogance. He was teaching self-mastery. and self-mastery is the highest intelligence. If this breakdown gave you insight, inspiration, or a new way to think about human behavior, then make sure you subscribe. I'm posting more videos on psychology, philosophy, strategy, and self-power, and each one is designed to sharpen your mind and strengthen your presence. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is strategy. Silence is control. Silence is power. Use it wisely and you'll start seeing the world respond to you in ways you never imagined. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.